Hello, hello, hello. I want to talk about my experience getting pins from D23 2026 and also do a little haul of all the pins I got. So, D23 is like the big Disney convention that happens out near Disneyland every 2 years. And 2026 was the first year that I went and finally worked up with like mainly having money and having like time off of work, all of that stuff. And I went solo. So, I was nervous going solo because it's a big convention. I'm shy. I didn't know how it was going to work, but I ended up, because I do a lot of like pin trading online. Pins is my big thing. I was able to meet up with a bunch of other pin people who I've like traded with and talked to online who were all going to be there by themselves. And so we were able to help each other with virtual queues. And that is my number two biggest piece of advice for D23. Go and help other people out. When I talk about my experience in a couple minutes, I got good pins because other people were looking out for me. And so then I was looking out for them and I got them good pins. And just being genuine. Also, the people that I was getting pins for, I've been talking to for like a year, and I didn't post on social media anywhere, hey, please get me into here, get me into there. That strategy worked for a lot of people, but like I said, I'm shy and I already know these people. And so we all decided to come together and help out. So that's kind of what happened. There are four main places to get like the exclusive pins. So there's Mickey's of Glendale, WDI. Those are usually cast exclusive, but at D23 you can get pins. There is the Walt Disney Company store, formerly like the Employee Center, DEC. That's also cast exclusive, and so D23 is the only other way that us non-cast members can get these pins. There was the D23 Marketplace, which is kind of just like the main shop that sells all of the D23 merchandise, and then there's Disney Studio Store Hollywood, which is owned by Ghirardelli. I'm guessing it's out closer to the LA Hollywood area. And they had some of their open edition pins, and then each day they had limited release pins. So D23 is a ticketed event. You have to get it months in advance. And then there's product catalogs that come out starting like a month, couple weeks before the event. And that's kind of how you know what stores you want to try to get a virtual queue on for each day. Now, I was lucky because the virtual queues opened at 6 a.m. Disneyland time, and I'm from the central time zone, so it was like 8 a.m. because I tried to stay on central time zone. Everything was fantastic. I wasn't like tired or anything. And then you can start lining up around like 5:36 to just line up if you want to do like standby for a couple booths, and then the convention starts at 9. For all of the pin stores that I just mentioned, there was not really a standby option right away. They had to go through all the virtual queues. If there was stuff left over, then you could do standby. But there were non-Disney companies. Like I know Box Lunch was there, Loungefly was there, the Pandora Charms, Her Universe, Little Words Projects. All those you could just do a standby and get exclusive merchandise that way. But I was really mainly focused on the pins, so that's what I did. Friday was Friday, and then today, Sunday, were my best 2 days. Saturday was a bit of a flop for me pin wise, but Friday, I was able to be someone's plus one to the Walt Disney Company store. We were group 10. There's like, I think we estimated like maybe up to like 20, 25 people per queue. So you go in at 6 a.m., you can get up to two people. So it's me and someone else. That's being someone's plus one. That's what you get. And then also the virtual queues sell out instantly. So there were some days I didn't really get anything. But yeah, first day, employee company store, the Walt Disney Company store. I was a plus one for a 10 for the Walt Disney Company store. Everything was in stock. 10 out of 10. That really helped start off my convention strong. And then I also got a DSSH pin store queue for 25. And there were like only like two or three pins that sold out there, but most things were available. Then on Saturday, my group did bad. My little singles group, flop, 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 flop. That was the day I wanted every single pin from the Mickey's of Glendale catalog because it was a lot of park space stuff. No. So I got the D23 Marketplace at spot like 45, 46, 47. So I was able to go get those pins, but it was kind of nice because not everything sold out from the first day. So I was able to get some stuff from the first day, get some of the stuff from the second day. And I really like the Marketplace pins. I don't think a lot of people cared about those pins like that store as much. The catalog came out later. The pins, they were cute, but they were like mechanical. There was like a video pin. There's some that played sound, and those pins just don't always age the best. So there is that. But I was able to get that like 40 whatever place at the marketplace, and I was able to bring someone along. So we were able to go in there. And for the D23 marketplace, they kind of switched up what was in their catalog. So originally on Sunday today, there were supposed to be a bunch of Parks pins, but those released early on Saturday. So while I couldn't get any of the other park stuff, I was happy to be able to get some park stuff. I got my Shaman a Song pin. They were also bigger Ellie's at the D23 marketplace. And I just think a lot of people were focused on adorbs and stamps. So I was happy to get what I could get. And then on Sunday, we did like kind of good. We did okay. Sunday wasn't like the best day for pins. I got DSSH spot 13. So within like the first hour of the convention, we were called in. Everything was still available. I didn't say for the D23 marketplace, everything was also available except the two big like number sets that were the 1955 and like the 1977. I think those were it. I'm not sure. Those were sold out by the time me and my plus one got in there, but I got what I got. And then, like I said, today for Sunday for DSSH group 13, I was able to bring someone. Everything was in stock for DSSH. Then someone else in our group was able to get the company store towards the end and kind of just get some things there. So I had a great time at D2023. And that's even beyond pins. Yeah. That's kind of my thing. Like I said, like my second piece of advice I would give everyone is to have a plan. I know I'm like sick of seeing the posts about the queues and the virtual queues and the bots and the people having full like setups to getting the queues and then $5,000 to be like a queue for like a low thing. I'm sick of it too. But that's kind of how you get the pins. If you weren't able to get them, wait it out. A lot of these are going to drop. Maybe not like the gowns and stuff that released from the company store, but everything else, chill out. My number one piece of advice for anyone thinking about going to D23 at some point in the future is that if you're only going for pins and you're only going for merchandise, you're going to have a horrible time. You will. I love to lurk in the groups, just all of them. I'm lurking in all of them. And if you were mainly focused on getting merchandise, the exclusive merchandise, terrible time. Now, with the panels and getting the reservations, those weren't great, but like just doing standby, I was able to get into a lot of panels. And so, my number one piece of advice would be to go to D23 to have fun at the convention and kind of ignore all of the different resellers. And, like in my case, the pin people, I don't know what the Lorcana girlies are up to. I don't fully get that. But if you're just there to do stuff, you're gonna have a bad time. If you're there to enjoy, it's gonna be good. And I know it's like ironic coming from someone who got like a good stuff. I was able to like get into a store every single day and help people out. But I did want some of the pins. I was successful, not for the days that I wanted. There were two Clarabelle cow pins that came out. I didn't get either of them, but like I'm gonna survive. I'm gonna be fine. It's gonna be great actually if I don't get those Clarabelle cow pins. But I was excited for the parks panel, and I was in the Honda Center, and I was like, "Can we wrap this up? I'm tired of the skits. No more songs. No more songs. I need a bullet point of all the park stuff." But I was still there. The energy was great. My favorite part was meeting up with the new my new little pin friends, the people that I had the virtual queues with because I have been talking to them online and like pin trading with them online and all of that stuff. That was the best part. Truly was. So thank you to everyone who was there with me. I know it was quiet and awkward, but like that's kind of just who I am as a person. But truly that was the best part. That's really why I like Sunday. I only got into like one store on Sunday, but I was hanging out with people. I was able to go to the different panels and such. Also, in addition to the pin catalogs, there's different booths and stands that give out free stuff. So I got a lot of things that way. So I the Hulu thing, those pins you just go and you take pictures, and I guess the whole thing is like you're supposed to post on social media and get like your following to do all of this stuff, but you go and get free pins. I helped out with like a volunteer thing that Disney does with like their Make a Wish Foundation. Got a pin with that that's super cute. You're getting a lot of patches and brochures, a lot of spinning, a lot of good stuff. So I did get quite a few like free pins. So you'll be seeing those as well. I think like Atari had one. There was a fun Hulu theater with like a weird like 4D show. You get a mystery pack from there. But overall, I had a good time. I did not get my top pins. Like I said, Mickey's a Glendale Saturday is what I wanted. But I think the employee store on Friday really helped me out, and I was really just there to have fun and meet new people. And it's fun just sitting in line. Even when I was just waiting out in security at 6 a.m., 3 hours before the convention, turn to the people around you, start a conversation. I'm Clarabelle Pins. I have my Clarabelle shirts. I had my Clarabelle shirts all weekend, so that was an easy conversation starter. In any of the lines, I'm pretty sure someone's like, "Oh, Clarabelle, that's interesting. Did you see her Pride Night in Disneyland?" And I'm like, "Nah, I'm not from the area, but I love her. Did you know that there's two Clarabelle cow pins coming out? If you get them, let your girl know." And it's just that's how you meet people. So, like I said, I had a great time. Had a great time meeting people, and it was super fun. I'm tired. If you asked me right now if I would go to D23 again, absolutely not. It was horrible. It's a convention. It's like the biggest convention I've gone to, but I can probably tell once I'm away from all the madness, like I'm probably gonna try for 2028 tickets and try to meet up with some of my pin friends and do the whole thing over again. But I'm tired. I got like 15,000 steps every day. So that is it. That's kind of like my pin experience at D23. It was fine. I got a couple heavy hitters that I have ready for any Clarabelles that I have in the future. I was able to just pick up a lot of the pins that I wanted. So there is that. I feel like I've been talking for a little bit too long. So like this will just be me talking about the pin experience. Like I said, it was a virtual queue. So some people get lucky, some people don't. But if you're going to D23 just for the merchandise, you're going to have a bad time. Yeah. And so there were also like a couple other stores that weren't pin specific that had queues, like Mickey's of Glendale, a WDI had like a regular store and a pin store. D23 Marketplace, I think, was again a regular store, pin store. Box Lunch sold out of their exclusive stuffs all pretty fast. The Pandora had like a free claw machine that was fun to watch. If you just like conventions and you have like a good group of people, you're gonna have a fun time. If you're in it to turn a profit, you're probably not gonna have a great time. So that's my advice. I will recover because I'm exhausted from D23 and I low key hated it. There were points on Saturday where I'm like, should I just fly back early? But I'm glad I stuck it out to Sunday. Overall, it's a good experience. And like I said, I guess I'm going to 2028. I'm not excited about it, but there we go. That's kind of my thoughts on D23 and the whole pin process. If you have any other questions, let me know. But I will do a haul separately, and then I also went to like Disneyland ahead of time, so I'll show you all of that stuff. Just wanted to get my initial thoughts out for D23. I don't have any advice for the virtual queues. I wasn't, I think today when I got such an early DSSH, I truly think I got boarding group 13 because everyone was trying to get gowns at the Disney Employee Center, and I was not trying to do that because I was not successful trying to get Glendale in the Employee Center. I tried to get both of those on Friday and Saturday, couldn't. So I think going with the less popular pin stores worked for me. Then you just help people out when you help them out. So shout out to everyone from the forum that I met up with. And yeah, I'm super tired, so I'm gonna cut this video here, but any other questions about the pins or the process, let me know. Haul will come at some point later. And there we go. Sorry for the hard face video. I know I'm usually behind the camera, but there we go. So let me know your thoughts. And I'm ready to not think about D23 again. Real tired of it. So I will see you all later. Bye.